This is Binge-Watch Nigerian TV News Brief, and here are the highlights. Nigeria accused of hiking price of petrol. Africa's growth stunted by export of primary commodities. Newly appointed CBN boss promises economic stability. Lagos government plans fresh sanctions on telcos over mast. Allegations of corrupt practices rock aviation ministry. SEC eyes 10 million investors for capital markets. Naira firms up against US dollar as CBN tightens liquidity. I am Blessing.
And I am Precious. Nigeria accused of hiking price of petrol. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, has accused Nigeria, among other member countries, for charging the highest price for a litre of premium motor spirits, also known as petrol. Chairman of the Movement for Nigeria's Total Transformation, a pro-democracy group, Chief Arioye Oyebola, in a statement issued yesterday, described the situation as oppressive, callous and insensitive by the federal government. According to him, while Nigeria charges 2 to 10 times higher price than other OPEC member countries for a litre of PMS, other countries also pay minimum wages that are 4 to 12 times higher than the 18,000 naira minimum wages being paid by Nigeria.
Africa's growth stunted by export of primary commodities. Export of primary commodities has been identified as the reason why Africa's growth has not translated into jobs. This was observed at the Conference of African Ministers of Finance, Planning and Economic Development going on in Abuja. According to discussants, growth has continued to be driven by export of primary commodities produced with limited value addition or linkages to the rest of the economy. The conference posited that the global share of manufacturing in West, Central, East and Southern Africa has dwindled compared to the European Union, adding that the continent has become a net exporter of jobs to the world.
Newly appointed CBN boss promises economic stability. The newly appointed governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Godwin Emefiele, has promised to ensure that the country's economy is brought to stability so as to create jobs and boost growth. The Senate yesterday unanimously approved his appointment following nearly 2 hours of questioning that was broadcast live on national television. The Zenith Bank boss will replace Lamido Sanusi, who was removed last month on charges of financial recklessness and misconduct.
Lagos government plans fresh sanctions on telcos over mast. Following the failure of some telecommunications firm to pull down illegally mounted masts in the state as instituted, the Lagos state government has issued fresh threats of sanctions in the form of fine on all telcos for refusal to tender the accurate list of telecoms masts for vetting. Disclosing this on Tuesday in Lagos, the General Manager, Urban Furniture Regulatory Unit, Mr. Joe Igokwe, said that the state government is worried by the discrepancies in the figures of masts submitted by some of the operators and the refusal of other operators to submit any list. Igokwe said Globacom, MTN, Airtel, Etisalat, 21st Century, IHS, Helios Towers, among others, were yet to submit the list of the current number of telecom masts they are operating in the state.
Allegations of corrupt practices rock aviation ministry. Tension has mounted in the Ministry of Aviation following allegations of bribery over issuance of air operating licenses to foreign investors to fly Nigerian routes. Although officials in the industry have denied the claims, it was gathered that in recent months, some foreign airlines have raised allegations that certain officials of the Federal Ministry of Aviation demanded gratification before working on their request to operate direct flights into and out of Nigeria. However, the coordinating spokesman for FAN, Yakubu Date, told reporters that the claims were vague and false.
SEC eyes 10 million investors for capital markets. The Securities and Exchange Commission has revealed plans to woo about 10 million Nigerians to participate in the capital markets by 2024. Out of over 160 million Nigerians, only about 5 million currently participate in the market. Speaking at the Centennial Capital Market Committee meeting in Lagos yesterday, the sponsor of the Literacy Committee, who is also the Executive Commissioner, Legal and Enforcement, SEC, Mrs. Saida Bello, said efforts are being made to ensure that more Nigerians invest in the market. Speaking in the same vein, the Executive Commissioner of Operations, SEC, Mr. Moino Gwazo, who is also the sponsor of the Master Plan Committee, said efforts are being made to ensure that the market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is about 130% of the country's gross domestic product by 2024.
Naira firms up against the US dollar as CBN tightens liquidity. The Central Bank of Nigeria again tightened liquidity to support Naira as the Nigerian currency firmed up against the US dollar on the interbank market yesterday. The CBN kept interest rates on hold for the 15th time in a row on Tuesday, but raised its cash reserves requirement on private sector deposits by 300 basis points to 15% to tighten liquidity in the Naira. The Naira closed at 164 Naira 90 kobo to the dollar on the interbank market, the same level as it closed the previous day. The Naira had weakened to 165.7 Naira to the dollar a few hours before the central bank announced on Tuesday, but later reversed its losses when indications emerged that the bank did not plan to devalue the currency. And that'll be all for today.